And today I will take you through a little bit of history, music, and of course some haircut and setting. So we're gonna start very soon, and I will introduce you to some technique that represent two icons of style and music that we unfortunately lost, but they give a lot of a very strong imprint in the music industry and also in style. Okay, the first icon that I would like to introduce to is David Bowie, and I will take you to some slides so we can go in a little bit of recap of his musical and acting career. So David Robert Jones was born the 8th of January on the 1947 in London, Brixton. I introduce this slide, this slide is actually the slide of a picture of his brother. I want to talk a little bit about Terry Jones because he had a very important presence in his life, in his music life, because he was the one that actually start to introduce him into the Bohemian life of London by taking him in the center of London and show him the first club of music, blues, and all this kind of music, American music that really influenced David Bowie. And he actually was a stepbrother. He was a stepbrother of David that his father had from a previous relationship. And one of David Bowie most influenced artists in that period was an icon of American blues and soul music that is called Little Richard, that I have here a picture. As you can see, was a very like eclectic man that actually dressed up like a woman in some cases. It was like a real showman. So that here you can start to see some influence that David Bowie had from his young age. Now I'm going to take you through this little interview that he actually talks about hair in that period that I find interesting to show you.
David Jones, now a little better known as David Bowie. It's all got to stop. They've had enough. The worms are turning. The rebellion of the long hairs is getting underway. They're tired of persecution. They're tired of taunts. They're tired of losing their jobs. They're tired of being sent home from college. They're tired of being sent home from school. They're tired even of being refused the dough. So with the nucleus of some of his friends, a 17-year-old David Jones has just founded the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Long-Haired Men. Well, here we are. Long-haired men, you've got to have your hair, what, 9 inches long before you can join?
Well, I think we're past that over now.
Have you?
Yes.
Now, exactly who's being cruel to you?
Well, I think we're all fairly tolerant, but for the last 2 years we've had comments like darling and can I carry a handbag thrown at us. I think it's just had to stop now.
But does it surprise you that you get this kind of comment? Because you haven't got really rather long hair, haven't you?
We have, yes. Yeah, it's not too bad, really. No, I like it, and I think we all like long hair. And we don't see why other people should persecute us because of this.
How are you going to set about this campaign?
Well, I don't know. I think the real sort of thing we should do is to try and get more followers behind us so that we can sort of march in protest, sort of ban the bomb all over again, you know, only against hair, you know, people persecuted.
Border master.
And I think gradually it will work, yeah, yeah.
So as you can see in this very short video, that's this interview. They talk about hair, how the young generation of musicians start to wear the hair long, and they were persecuted by other guys, calling them like darling or can I carry your handbag, you know. This like was actually not like so long ago, but it was a matter of fact that in that period, the guys, especially in the music system, start to wear the hair long, you know. So this is a picture of David Jones at the age of 18. In that period, there was another David Jones in the music history. So David decided to change his name in David Bowie after attend to a museum of American history, and he took the inspiration of Bowie from a Texas American soldier that he took his surname, you know, David Bowie. So at the age of 18, in September 1975, David Bowie was born. You know, he always has have been like a very superstar icon, and we can easily say that if England is the land of free mind and free expression, we, you know, we can easily say that is for people like David Bowie, that they always been like exaggerating with the style and change themselves into something a little bit strange. So David Bowie makes this being strange is being cool, you know. So this is a picture of from his first wife that you know, after the beginning of his career, David received a lot of bad critical about the way he was dressing. You know, it wasn't like a very easy life for this artist to express himself. But with this wife, with this girl, she was actually American, and she was working also in the music and star business. He pushed himself to be even more androgenic and eclectic man within his style, and he pushed himself so far. Also, like, you know, I show you this picture just to show like the beginning of his career. That he actually sometimes, you know, dressed like a woman, so it was like a really shock for the media and stuff like that. He often changed his style in constantly reinventing himself. This is a picture of the probably the most powerful, one of the most powerful look that he had during his career, and the name of this person is Ziggy Stardust. We can see also like a picture of a more mature musician, and that he transformed himself into the White Duke. Of course, like with in that period, a lot of he had also like a lot of problem with drugs, especially at the beginning of his career. Here there is like a picture that the police take him by after finding with cocaine in the company of Ziggy Bowie. So, of course, as you can see, like at the beginning of his career, he was a little bit into too much drugs and stuff like that. But at one point, he decided to take a break, and it also, for the people that don't know, he has a very, very strong influence into the cinema. This is the first one of the. This picture is actually come from his very first movie, The Man That Come from the Fell on Earth. The movie wasn't like a very big success actually, but his critical was outstanding for his interpretation in this first movie. And you know, during his career, he, of course, like he has a very, very strong career into acting. And here there is a picture of Bowie that after America he decided to move to Berlin and to clean himself off from any influence of drugs and stuff like that. So we have at this point a very mature musician, you know, starting like his career as a solo artist. Here there is a picture of his first wife and his first son, and he actually really like changed his life, because after I've split with his wife, he had the custody of his son. So he really like cleaned himself off from any bad influence in his career. We can see also here another picture of Ziggy Stardust. And we're gonna go through like many like different look that he had during his beautiful and amazing career. So now I will kindly ask you to lift the volume up of your phone or PC or everything you're using, so we can enjoy a little bit of music before our first cutting technique. Enjoy. And dance the blues to the song that's playing on the radio. Wow, color lights up your face. Let's sway through the crowd to an empty space. If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. My love for you would break my heart in two. If you should fall into my arms, tremble like a look into my eyes. Under the moonlight, the serious moonlight. And if you say run, I'll run with you. And if you say hide, we'll hide. Okay, guys. So I hope you enjoy. Now I'm gonna get full screen, so you're gonna be fully connected. Okay. All right. So at this point, we're gonna go through the haircut technique. As you can see, I already pre-color this head mannequin, the classic blonde Davines education mannequin. So I work with pure color, orange, the maximum strength from it, so like 1:1, and it comes out with a really like beautiful and bright orange shade. I also did a little bit of makeup, as you can see, yeah. And so now today I'm gonna represent Ziggy Stardust. So the first, okay, I'm not gonna be able at the moment, if you have any question, please write, and I'm gonna go back to you right after the end of the webinar. So the first things that I did, I actually took a section, you know, from this recession area and going slightly diagonal back, as you can see from that. So I'm just gonna start to cut the top section. Of course, half of the haircut has already been cut. So because we don't have much time and we got a lot of things to share. So the first things that I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take a middle part section. I hope you enjoy the video and you start to get into the mood with this hour with me. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna comb the hair in the natural fall. I'm gonna take a vertical section and I'm gonna go into a square. So I'm gonna put my finger vertical and I'm gonna feel the bone of the head with the back part of my finger, and I'm gonna cut it into a square. So we're actually gonna go quite short and we're gonna leave the part under disconnected. Not completely, after we're gonna go through some sliding technique to connect a little bit, but we must leave a little bit of weight. So I'm gonna take another vertical section parallel to the other. Now I'm gonna take another one here, working section by section, always cutting into a square. The last section we're gonna over direct it to the previous, so we can have a slightly length on the front area. So we're gonna push it back into the previous, and we're gonna cut it square. In the back area, we're gonna work with pivoting section, keeping my angle square in the same position. So I'm gonna do a pivot section and cut it square. Always keep your finger attached to the head. So we're gonna give a nice square and strong look to the disconnection. I'm not gonna over direct nothing, so I'm gonna work really like section by section. I actually find this look really modern at the moment. As you can see, all the influence also that Tom gives to us, they talk about really like work with different instrument, with disconnection, with different kind of texture. So I actually find the look that I will propose you today very modern at the moment. Okay, so now we're gonna take off the clip, and as you can see, we have a very strong disconnection from top to side and back. So now we're gonna still taking vertical section, and we're gonna go through with the surfing technique. So I'm gonna take my scissor, is going to be always open like this, and we're gonna slide through, maintaining the length, but give a little bit of connection between top and side. Keep on taking vertical section, and we always keep the scissor open like this and going down. Okay, you must keep the weight here in this case, just to be like authentic, you know. Sometimes when we want to reproduce something that comes from the past, we must keep it simple, because we should know that now we are aware a lot of things, a lot of technique, but in the past, it wasn't like that. So sometimes when you want to reproduce something that comes from the past, you should think like the past. You should think simple. So don't go through with, you know, a lot of perfection and stuff like that, just to try to be as much authentic you can. So now we're gonna go through the back, always keeping vertical section. This is our guideline, and we're gonna go through with the same technique just to connect the disconnection a little bit. I'll go through like this, vertical. And down. Vertical section. And down. I actually don't pay too much attention to perfection. This is not what I want. You know? Of course, we're gonna do a balance, check the balance and stuff like this, but if I find something that maybe is a little bit heavier than the other side, I don't give too much attention. From the top section now, I'm gonna go back into my previous section, which actually was a middle part. And now we're gonna take horizontal section. We're gonna take horizontal section and we're going to a classic square layers technique. Okay? So I'm gonna lift up and we're going into a classic square layer. We're gonna go through the front, section by section, not over directing at the moment, and we're going into a square layer. Square layers. And only the last section in the front area, it will be over directed to the previous to maintain a little bit of length in the front area. Then I'm gonna go through my pivoting section in the back, always keeping square. Of course, when we talk about square, it's very important also that the head must be straight, because if we push a little bit from one side, and I'm gonna go into square, when I go back to the head straight, is going to be different. So you must keep your head always vertical. Always learn how to cut your hair, how to cut the hair with the head straight. It's very important. Okay, so now the base of the haircut is done. I'm gonna go through with a little bit of hair dryer. Really going to push the hair with my nozzle horizontal into front area. So we're going to give a nice square look. As you can see, I'm just working on the top section just to give a nice strength to the front. And I'm going to push everything up like that. In the back and side section, I just want to give a little bit of movement. So I push my hair into from front to back. Always keeping the hair in low power. Otherwise, it's just gonna pick up too much. It's going to be a little bit too much influence. So we want to keep also slightly natural. Really going through this kind of drying with the hand. You can also use a brush, like diamond brush, if you want to get a little bit of strength in the front. But the haircut is already square, and with short hair, you can easily manage with no brush. So as you can see, it's quite short, but this is actually the way it should be. We dry the hair. As you can see, also quite the error, the mistake that sometimes people make in this look, that they go, they cut short also this part here in the occipital bone, but this part actually from when you start the curve of the occipital bone, it must be long. So you actually should have length here. So this is like the real original mallet. And it's keep on coming back, you know? You think about this, this is a look that guys was wearing like in the 70s, but he's actually keep on coming back. I remember that when I was in London, when I used to live in London, that we talk about late 90s, this kind of look came back, especially for men, in a different way, you know, but maybe a little bit softer. I remember that it was like quite short, long, and then a little bit of length in the back. And it's a cousin, we can say, of this kind of look, actually. Okay. It's not really like completely dry. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a little bit of hairspray, strong hairspray, just to give more strength and power to the final look. A nice texture. Okay, so this is the end of the first look. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. So now we're gonna go through the second artist that I will present, and we're gonna talk a little bit today, which is Amy Winehouse. Okay, so actually Amy Winehouse was born. Amy Winehouse was born in September 1983. Her blues voice, her charming, dirty way of singing, imperfect, and also for this very pure and beautiful. Her appeal to the 60 words of music of the soul make Amy Winehouse something impossible to build up on a table, and incredibly charming. I actually don't want to focus too much on her history, because we all actually know what happened to her and in which problem she fell. But I want to focus actually on the contribution that this young and very talented, strong artist give to the music world in such a short time. You must know that Amy Winehouse is the one of the 4 person in the music history of all time that achieve the result of winning 5 Grammy Awards with one album. So this is can say a lot about her and her talent. And she influenced actually a lot of different artists like Adele, like Lana Del Rey, and she actually create a new way of singing and interpret music. They call it like the white soul, which is actually like a sort of contemporary R&B. You must know that after her death, the Amy Winehouse Foundation was created, actually on the date of her birthday, so the 14th September of the 2011, by her father. And I'm gonna go through this because they have a very nice program, actually, to save young people from drugs and from abusive of alcohol. So I found this really in line with our philosophy. And they have a very nice program because they actually inform, of course, people of the negativity of using drugs and alcohol, of course. They give also a free place to stay with psychology and stuff like that. And the most beautiful things about this foundation that you should know, that they teach them music. They teach them music, they introduce them to, you know, something that actually could save them life. But at this point, what I want to do is I want to let her speak by herself with her amazing and beautiful voice. Enjoy.
For you I was a flame. Love is a losing game. 5-story fire as it came. Love is a losing game. Why I wish I never played. Oh, what a mess we made. Now the final frame. Love is a losing game. Played out by the band. Love is a losing hand, and it was more than I could stand. Love is a losing hand. Self-professed, profound, till the chips were down. Though you're a gambling man, love is a losing hand. Though I battle blind, love is a fate to resign. And the memories, they mar my mind. Love is a fate resigned over futile arms and left here by the gods. And now the final frame. Love is a losing game.
Wow, Wow, amazing. Amazing. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So, okay, guys. So, I hope you enjoy these boys. They actually always give me a lot of emotion. I don't know from for you, but she has been for a very short time a really like star and with her incredible voice. So I like to share it with you this morning. So as you can see, now I'm gonna introduce the setting. So we're gonna go through this iconical look that everybody knows about hemming. So what I did already, I start to set the head mannequin that I created. And as you can see, like, you know, we give like a different interpretation in terms of color. Of course, I use pure color also in this occasion. The head mannequin was really really blonde. We're talking about 10, maybe 11. And so I use like pure color blue and maximum strength, so 1:1. And so we got this amazing mermaid blue. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna working with the iron. As you can see, I already did. So what I did actually, I took like 1, 2, and 3 section. I left one for you, just you could see what I did. So I'm gonna just take a really simple section, a really simple section. So just classic toning technique. Classic toning technique during the front area. I don't want to be like so much volume here in the top section. I just want to give a little bit of movement. And also when I finish to do my toning technique, I won't pinch them. You know, I'm just gonna let them down, so they're not gonna be so much curl. Just really to give a little bit of movement. So we're talking about 2 people that probably they will doing the hair by themselves, you know. So as I said before, I wanted to be as much authentic as possible, also in the interpretation of their looks. So what I'm gonna do now, the first section that I'm gonna be taking, it will be in the crown area. A very like small section here. I'm just taking like a round section. Very small, just to give a little bit of strength and grip to this section. I'm gonna go into back combing with my tail comb. This way. Okay. Now I'm gonna spray a little bit of hairspray here. The first tools that I'm gonna use is this one. Is a classic postiche. You can easily find it anywhere. So I'm gonna put this section inside to start to build my volume. This actually, I will need this to create also a little bit of volume, but at the same time, a nice grip where to put my second postiche. So I'm gonna fix the pin inside. I'm gonna use the long one. Okay, so the two of them goes inside, then outside, and then inside. I don't need so many, just maybe 4. So once again, well, I'm gonna work with the two of them goes inside, outside, and inside. I'm gonna do the same things in the opposite side. Always working with long pins. Yeah. And then I'm gonna do the same things here. Okay, so now it's nice and blocked. So as soon as you use these tools well, you don't need to use so many, you know? You just need like 4, but well done, well positioned, not so many. Now, what I did, I create this with fake synthetic hair, little bit of crispy extension that I'm sure that everybody will know. So we're gonna actually build up our volume in this case, which Henny wears all the time. So now I'm gonna really like start to create the form with my hand. And I'm gonna use always long pins with the same technique that I did before. So we're gonna go inside, outside, and then inside. You must always put your grips into the previous postage that we have underneath. So it creates a nice grip. So now you understand why I used to. One is for give me volume, and the other one forgive me a nice grip where to put my grips, my pins. So inside, outside, and I feel that I put inside to give more strength. If you got any question to answer me, just write me down anything and I will go back to you as soon as I finish my live. You could easily find this kind of extension in any Afro shop. I remember that when I used to live in London, I used to go in Brixton, actually, where David Bowie was born. Actually, I used to live there. And there were a lot of black shop where they sell a lot of extension. Like you could easily find a wall of extension in front of you. It was like a hairdressing paradise in somehow. Okay, so we actually going not to put so many also here, because after I will put also some more extension inside to match with the color that we create. So I'm gonna put again grips. So don't put too much. Also, you need some elasticity just to build up the volume. It's very important that you build the right volume. So now I'm gonna put extension that I create with the same color that I use for my head mannequin. The first section that we actually gonna put is a long one. It's a long one because we want to cover all around the postiche. So we're gonna just put all around it, and I'm gonna use grips. So as I told you before, We're gonna go through again with other grips, so you don't need to really use them too much. We're also gonna fix the back part here. Always with the same technique. So going inside, come out, and go inside again. Okay. At this point, I am starting to create the form and the volume. Every time I go with a little bit of hairspray, just to fix the extension inside. I also like if the hair also come down in the back like this, it will be fine. And now I'm gonna use these short pieces to put them in the front area. In this way. So we're gonna cover completely the postiche with an extension. It's positioned in the top section. And going down. Yeah. Keep on working in the front area and let them fall in the back. Of course, my body position is a little bit uncomfortable at the moment because I want to show you. Probably if I were in the salon, the head will be above me from at least either 10 or 20 centimeters. So it will be more comfortable, but of course I need to show you exactly and match the camera level. So sometimes I get a little bit uncomfortable, but it won't be like this in a real life. Every time you place extension, you're just gonna fix it with a little bit of hairspray. Got the last pieces. Once again, also in this part here, we don't need so many, otherwise it will become too heavy and not very, very comfortable to wear. Usually, like also Hemi wears a little bit of rasta, like dreadlocks. You know, in this case, we will not do it, but you could also do something like that. So create a little bit of dreadlocks with the clay and a little bit of backcombing, hairspray, and dry. She also like usually wear a fringe in this part here that we actually today is we're going to create a fringe. So how we do that? We take a little bit of hair from the back left part and put it forward in the front. I show you. So we're gonna take a little bit of section in this area here. And we're gonna push it in the front. And we're gonna grip it in. You could also like use some bandana, some flower that she usually wear sometimes. Yeah. At this point, we're just gonna comb a little bit the extension in the top area, a little bit, just to expand them on the postige. We're gonna take a brush now, and we're gonna just comb the hair, really to leave it quite dusty feeling, like not so much well done, you know? So we're gonna take the hair, just really work with it. Yeah. A little bit of more hairspray. Okay, guys, this is the final look that we create today. So this is it. I'm gonna show you the two together. There you go. So I really, me, David and Amy, really enjoy this hour with you together. And I hope you find some inspiration, you enjoy a little bit of history, and of course, a little bit of the music. And I wish you all the best, and I see you soon in the next education program that we have during this week. Okay? Thank you very much, and I see you soon next time. Bye.